and thinking about different like sub topics in this part as well, and then I started thinking as well about you here, Getty and Flo, that how do you manage? So I had a lot of a lot of questions that popped up in my mind. So maybe we can start from somewhere, and then I will try to keep it as well, like some kind of a structure maybe to it. But I don't know if we should do a super small intro as well. I checked your backgrounds as well to understand that that in a sense you are a very let's say like a good type of solo founder person, because I can see that you both have engineering background as well, so you can always bypass like some of the topics. For example, for me, I'm more of a business background, so if I do a hardware company or co-found it, then there's like no way that I can do it myself as well. So this is why. But if I see an engineering type of person, then maybe they can do it. So maybe very briefly about your background. So what are you up to even?
Okay, who takes the floor? Can I start? Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Getty, and yeah, I'm a solo founder currently, as described in the beginning, and I'm a technical person, but not technical in a sense that you understand like someone who builds a software. I'm not IT technical. I'm technical as engineering wise. So I'm a boring thermal power engineer. So, but I don't have any technical skills to build a software, yet I'm doing it today. So I'm a solo founder. I'm building a software, but besides me, I have people who are helping me. I think there are like 5 or 6 persons who are working together with Nave, but they are not doing it as a full-time job. They are like doing it as a side gig or helping me out. So these people help me not to feel like solo founder. And basically, it wasn't my like choice to be a solo founder, but just life happened. And actually, I'm currently working my way towards finding a person next to me, because I feel that I cannot do this alone, like in the long run. And what else I wanted to tell? I just recently spoke with one investor, and then she told me that she has been speaking with solo founders on the same day, like 3 or 4 of them, and they were all women who were solo founders. And she was also a woman, and she was thinking like, is it something related to being a woman that you're a solo founder? I don't want to believe that, but yeah, let's see what Flo thinks.
Yeah, so I would like to actually make a comment to how like Kathy started answering this question. Girl, you should own that. Stop like excusing and saying that, oh, I don't have a technical in software, blah, blah, blah. You are an engineer and you're also the business person. You are already ticking more boxes than a lot of other founders who are co-founders. So like own your narrative. And I think this is what we as women should start actually doing more, because when I first became a solo founder, that was the first question that one of my advisors actually asked me. He was like, so do you think you can be a solo founder? And I had to actually pause for like a freaking 5 minutes, because I was like, in my head, I was just like, am I not? Am I not? And then I was like, heck yes, like I am, if some of the boxes are being ticked and I receive like some additional support. And I think, yeah, anyone like after doing this again for a couple of months, not by choice, but because the universe had this plan, I'm learning that I think if you're open to learning and you're humble enough to admit what you know and what you don't know, but really own your narrative, and when you're good at something, really stand on it. And this is why I also I wanted to tell Kathy, like, what you're doing is brilliant, and I don't think there is any person out there who can just do everything, who can, even if you had the money, let's say, it's like Because when I became a solo founder, I was like, I need the money and then I can. But then you realize that even if you had the money, you still like need help and support, because the money is not just gonna, go to the right places and fix the right things and all of that. So yeah, I think for us, for me and Kathy, I think having an engineering background helped a lot, but also the fact that maybe we are also not a typical like engineer who's like always in the lab and just like doing experiments and that kind of thing, because you really need to have people skills in this like area. And with my previous co-founder, I think in the beginning we actually complemented very well, because he also had like an engineering background, but he was more focused on like the business side of things. So I had time to actually learn more about the commercial side of being an entrepreneur. And I think and I mean, I don't want to be rude or anything, but for people with an engineering background, I think learning business on the go is way easier. I mean, that's how I find it. Like a lot of things that I'm kind of like picking up and learning for me are kind of like, in my head, I'm just, oh, but this makes sense, or like this is just pretty much straightforward. I don't need to like spend a lot of time learning about certain subjects. So I think, yeah, it's definitely, in a way, it's been an advantage that we have the engineering side of things. And also the idea, I think, for Kathy as well, like came from her. And I think that is also something that is really important, because I don't think I could keep going and building something if the idea belonged to someone else, or like even, I don't know, the concept in itself. Like if I didn't get it, if I didn't know what I was actually building, I think I would just be like, okay, maybe I can be a solo founder, but I need to start from scratch with something that I truly believe in. And I think at the end of the day, that's the most important thing, to actually really be passionate and love what you're building.
Yeah, and maybe I totally agree with you that it's always that's exactly what I meant in the beginning as well, regarding like engineering backgrounds, that it's all what I find as well, at least, or feel like that it's easier to acquire business skills rather than the opposite side, to become suddenly an engineer, right? But what would you say is in super brief, like in I don't know, like one sentence each or something, that the best thing about being a solo founder and the worst thing?
That's a tough question. The worst thing comes to my head like straight away, that the worst thing is that you don't have someone to like continuously every day to talk or reflect or like to speak. Like you have people, but you cannot annoy them all the time. And like small decisions in a day that you make, they come from me, but I feel that I need like someone to just to speak with. And I feel that technical founder like could be, or like whatever founder, co-founder could be the fit. But what is like the best thing being a solo founder? Maybe that the decisions are fast, like I can move in my own pace, and that's like first thing that came to my head.
What about you, Flo?
I think the best thing is just having the freedom to fully be myself, exactly how I want to. It sounds weird, but like, I don't know, I had a pitch in Lisbon like in November, and I freestyled it. And I know that if I had like a co-founder, I would have felt a bit of like, pressure. I mean, not pressure, but it's kind of like it's teamwork, like right now I take accountability and responsibility for everything. So it's kind of like there are two sides to the coin, but I use it in my advantage, and I freaking love it. I'm just like, if I knew, I would have done it sooner. And in terms of the worst thing, I think I've mourned and I've grieved that part of like, oh my God, what is happening? Where is the help? Where is the support? And right now, I don't even think there is like such a thing as the worst thing, because I relate to what Kathy said, but I am happy to have found a community of people that are mostly founders and female and solo, most of them, yes. And other people, like even like guys, and I work with people as well. So and I'm very, very open and vulnerable. Like you can guys like see me. Like I don't like, if I feel like I need to talk to someone, like it's very easy for me to find someone to talk to, you know, in a way that I don't dump on them, and in a way that, you know, we can help each other. So yeah, I don't think there is like a worse thing right now. But hopefully, you know, things will get better for everyone.
So who do you, this is like something what you briefly discussed upon as well, but it didn't go into specifics. So it's 2 a.m. and then you have a big problem. So who do you usually call? So who are the people that you annoy with? Have you built like I don't know, like some mentors from accelerators, or your mom, or your best friend, or how does it work with you? How do you mitigate like this issue that you're kind of like, let's say, like alone with your thoughts, but who do you rely on then?
All of those you mentioned combined, I would say that I have advisors, and some advisors are people who I know I can speak at 2 a.m., but some of the advisors are people I know that I don't want to bother them, you know, late at night, but they are super valuable on the daytime. But also like close friends and family, and people who are, you know, doing similar stuff. Like sometimes I write to Flo in LinkedIn chat about some stuff that is in my head, and you know, it's just find a good fit with someone, just have a connection and then use them.
Yeah, I think for me, this year has been not just a solo founder journey, but I've also been spending a lot of time with myself. I'm single, I'm a 32-year-old woman, you know, like I have a lot of dreams, and I used to have a lot of friends, but this year I took a step back from all my relationships. And I actually, when you asked that question, I was like, I actually learned to not react anymore. So when a problem comes up, I'm spending a lot of time with myself to like not react, and to learn how to respond instead of react to like the problem itself. And once I calm down, I either, like most of the times I figure it out on my own, but if I want a second opinion, I have, as Kathy said, advisors that I can, and luckily I have people, I have someone in the US, so basically I'm a night owl as well. So if it's like 2 a.m. for this person, it's pretty much like 6-7 hours ahead. So it's like it's not 2 a.m. for them. So but yeah, I think it's a bit of a like knowing that I am safe within myself, and I can, you know, no matter what arises, I can be there for myself. And this has been like the biggest lesson for me this year, that, you know, I have all the support that I need, and I can provide it for myself. But also, if I need something external, it's about being discerning enough to know exactly, as Kathy said, what person is the right one to ask for help with this matter right here, right now. You know, because you have to be really honest with yourself and understand, like, do I want emotional, like sort of like support? Do I want practical support? And I think you need to figure that out before you go to the person, because what I've learned is that you go to people to ask for help, but you really need to know what you want, because in this world of like being a founder and entrepreneur nowadays, you have to be really quick. Like, you have to go straight to the point, to the person, and just let them know, this is the problem, this is what I need help with. If you just present a problem and you don't like let people know what you need from them, a lot of people want to help, but you make it easier for them to help you the moment you actually like let them know, okay, this is what I need, you know. And I think you learn it by practicing it a lot. Like now I know. A couple of months ago I was a bit more confused, but it just gets easier. And yeah, I think it's not just like, and I don't think it will ever be like just one person you constantly go to. And my family is definitely not on that list.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. I think like from my, I don't know, from my experience as well, like this, it's changing over time. So for example, like some of the companies I worked in or co-founded are nearly like 5 years old now, and the co-founders have been switched. Some have gone away, some have come in, and also like some structural changes. So it changes quite a lot as well. So without probably going into like this, hopefully that you're not reliving this drama, but maybe we should investigate a little bit as well, like the like how does it happen? Like for example, that there becomes like a breakup of co-founders. So for example, so because all of the founders who are here as well, they might end up here at the same position, right? So one thing what I've learned as well is that that there might be a lot of stress involved, because when you're pushing a company like forward, then it's quite a relentless process, and without knowing, you might be pushing a lot of stress onto your other people, and at some point, you know, somebody might crack, or that somebody's not happy with their shareholding, or they have a family or whatnot. So what was the process for you, and how did you manage to, I don't know, either peacefully or not peacefully, to handle this? Are you willing to share that?
I am willing to share like some bits of it. Like I don't want to share the whole story because
Yeah, no worry. Not
another
going
person,
into, rather
yeah.
like learnings, right? So we don't
Yeah.
need to know any like names and
Yeah.
and personal details and and so
Yeah.
on.
Because each story has two sides. So
Of course.
yeah. So I just have like the thoughts from my side, and it's my experience was that I am an entrepreneur for the first time. I'm building a startup for the first time, so I had like no clue what are the like game rules, or what are the expectations for share, you know, holders or whatever. I didn't know anything, so I just know I wanted to build something, and I found a person who also wanted to build something, who was crazy enough to do it with me, and then it made like perfect fit to start it. But then eventually, when you build it and you see how you work, you at one point you might realize that this is not the person who you want to build this company, and this thought may be in your head for a long time, and you like deny it. At least I did for a really long time, and then I really, at some point, many things happened, and then I realized this is it, like now or never, because I know that if I wait with the decision, then it will go worse. Like I was we started in the Beamline Accelerator as basically like idea stage, so we were super early, and it was maybe, I would say, more convenient to do the breakup then than to do it when you have investors and customers already aligned. So then I made the decision, and it was a decision I made. So of course it was not easy. So you know, someone didn't feel the same way, and it wasn't very, you know, good times for me or for the other founder as well. So, but eventually we got some help. We got some lawyers on board and people who know better things, and then we got to an agreement. So we got to end things in a way that it is end on paper as well. So it is not something that it will ghost me for years. And now I'm being just super cautious to select the people I'm going to build the product with. I would say this is the biggest take for me.
Yeah. What was what was your question, Carl? Because now I'm just kind of like I'm trying to also filter like what should I say. And
No, we were just discussing. I mean, you founded your company totally solo, or you had a co-founder previously as well, or?
I had a co-founder. We yeah. I had.
Yeah, so the question was rather like as a learning for the other founders as well, like what is the moment, and what is the, let's say, like, decision is one thing, but how is the even like let's say like personal struggle towards that decision as well? Does it take like a long time or not? And how do you even like manage this let's say like sort of like a breakup without like let's say huge drama? Or depends like how many details you want to go into, but I think this is quite valuable learning for everybody, and
Yeah.
interesting for me at least.
Yeah, definitely. I had a co-founder, a male co-founder, and this is exactly why I think like it's funny because there's not one size fits all. Like Kathy had a woman, a female co-founder, you know, so it can happen to anyone. This is what I'm trying to say, you know. You can be technical, commercial, like it's something that, you know, once you actually team up with someone, like relationships, right? It's everybody says it's pretty much like a marriage. There is divorce out there. It's very real, you know. And it's the same for co-founders. And yeah, I think for me it was I've always wanted to have someone to build something with. I'm also a first-time founder. Crazy enough to to do this on your own for the first time as well. I think it has a lot of challenges, but yeah, I teamed up with this person because we were part of a different accelerator. So like the whole point of that accelerator was to team up. In the first stage was to like just team up. Like that was kind of like the requirement. In order to progress, you had to team up. You have to come up with an idea, and that's kind of like the whole like sort of founder journey started. And it was very easy in the beginning, you know, and as opposed to other people, like we did have like lots of talks, and we did like, I don't know, there's a list of 50 questions that you can ask your co-founder before you actually team up with them, and it goes into a lot of like details and understanding the other person. So in a way, I feel like we got to know each other really quick, but to a very kind of like deep level, which was good. And when I made a decision, I was very sure about it, but then I started getting like, you know, signs. And I think it's with any relationship. I'm a very aware person, and one of like, I've worked a lot with like myself and who I am and who I am as a person. And I think there was like a time when I started becoming aware of like this other person not being aware of things that, you know, like he had to be aware of. And as Kathy was saying, you know, you kind of like have that feeling, and it's your intuition. And I swear to God, now I'm kind of like, I'm never ignoring my intuition again, because that is my compass. Because if you feel it once, you just have to talk about it. But of course, it's life. We live in a world that we think we can control a lot of things, but the reality is that we can't. We can only control ourselves. And I think when it got to a point where it was very, very intense, because we were supposed to, I mean, we got an investment from this accelerator where we teamed up initially, and we waited for the investment 6 months. And I think the biggest test that we had as a team, as a whatever you want to call it, was when this accelerator pulled back, and they just had a conversation with us, and the accelerator just kind of like announced us on like a 10-15 minute call that you know, we're not giving you the investment anymore after waiting for such a long time. And I was really freaking out, and I think I needed a lot of support, emotional, but also someone I wanted to see, especially because this was a man who was 10 years older than me. You know, I felt as a woman, you feel that need of like being protected, and those kind of, or at least that's how I felt. And I didn't get that. And I think that's when I started really focusing on myself within the company, right? And I stopped pouring into the relationship, the team that we had. And I did it in a way of like protecting myself because I didn't feel safe, and I didn't know how to articulate that at the time, because we've been through a lot of like stuff. There was a roller coaster with me as well. And yeah, there were fights, there were arguments, but also I am the type of person who doesn't avoid conflict. So initially that's a good thing when you work with me, but then, you know, if you don't know how to handle your freaking ego, it's gonna get hurt. And I'm realizing that in business, when you bring the ego to the table, it's a no for me, and I think for most people. So yeah, I started focusing on myself, and like 2 months later, I think the decision came from him, actually, very naturally. I felt it, you know, like but as Kathy was saying, it's the first time you're going through this. You don't know how to verbalize it. You don't know. It's like the energies felt like I'm working with energy as well. Kathy is like, energy is very real between people as well. Who believes it is like my friend. Who doesn't, it's kind of like wake up because it's real. And yeah, you feel the energy, but it's like, what am I supposed to say? It's like, again, with the shareholders, you know, I was 50-50 with him. And I was like, in my head, I was just like, but he gave a loan to the company. And like, well, how am I supposed to handle all of this? But again, you stay stuck in your head and you think about all these problems. But then everything was actually like the breakup process was actually pretty easy for me, because I think everything was smooth, because there was respect between both of us, regardless of what had happened. I think we were both mature enough, and he owned his decision. I didn't oppose it. I didn't question it. And each one of us had to do whatever was best for the company. We had conversations with advisors to help us with the process, because yeah, obviously we didn't know. And I think it's very important to introduce an advisor, at least one, if not like two or more, to help with this, because yeah, there were a lot of things that I didn't know, and they gave us a list, and we did it. Of course, a lot of other things happened after he was gone, where I realized that, oh, this should have been done, but it teaches you, again, accountability and responsibility of decisions. And yeah, I think you just, if you feel it's not the right person, I think you should always have a conversation with your co-founders, and see if you can work things out. Some things can be worked out, and some unfortunately can't. And there's nothing you can do, and you have to really be honest with yourself. And that's why I think honesty is super important, because you have to admit it to yourself first. Even if this person is like, I don't know, super brilliant in some areas, if you just feel like you don't click as people anymore, I think, and values being aligned from like a values point of view is super, super important. I think it's more important than actual skills. Skills can be learned, can be taught, you can find other people, but you have to be really aligned with like your core values as humans. So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
No, thanks a lot. Actually, I was just thinking here as well that well, we have Marco here as well. Marco, you from Nuatu. You are also like are you more of a solo founder, or I know that you had like some teammates as well, or were the co-founders, or has your team lasted? Because Marco here, you've done it as well for years now. Nuatu, I think maybe 4 years at least, or even more, or how many years?
No, it's actually 6.
6, yeah. So this is like
yeah, it sounds like a lot, but it took Mate Rimac to build his supercar, electric car unicorn, like 12 years, and the first 6 years were critical. So in hardware, you know how it is, and you know it takes time, and it takes money, and it takes whatever. But yeah, well, I'm not a solo founder. I have my co-founder Ivana. She covers the business side of the the communication, because something that is like let's say well, the translation from Croatian would be like a public secret, is that engineers know to talk to engineers, and if you have to talk to common people, then it's like tricky, so you have to learn it. So yeah, I mean, it's like a symbiosis. So she learns from me the technical side, and I learn from her how to speak human and not engineer. So yeah, that's that. But yeah, what I wanted to say that yeah, solo founders, but I don't know about software, but if you're dealing with hardware, you can't build it by yourself. One moment or the other, you need some help. You need some subcontractor. You need some advisor. So solo founder, yeah, you're sitting solo on the steering wheel of your startup, but you still have people that you talk to and ask for, a bill or a comment or support or whatever. So yeah, I mean, and that's with everything, with the whole startup community. You go to your own people and they understand you, and they offer support, and they tell you, hey, you're doing something dumb, and quit it. So yeah, that's what it's like. So yeah, but yeah, if you haven't tried building something in hardware, then you can't pretty much explain it to people who haven't done it. It's a whole another beast from building software. And I'm not bashing software. I'm just saying it's like two things that should be measured accordingly with their own metrics.
But you've had all the time the same. You and Ivana have been the same core for 6 years, or has there been like some other links coming in or dropping out as well?
Yeah, well, from at the beginning, Ivana joined like, what was it, 2 years, a year and a half later. So yeah, in the very beginning, it was really like hardcore engineering. So it was enough to do with the education that you get from startup support programs. So that was at that time, that was enough. But when we built like the first POC, so it's, I don't know, TRL 3, 4, then you need to really be able to communicate what you're doing and to present what you're doing, because you can have the best thing in the world, but if nobody knows about it, then what are you doing? So that's when, yeah, and yeah, it has been working for the last 3-4 years. So yeah, we're still here.
Okay, I'm just thinking as well. One topic, of course, is the fundraising process, right? So this is probably a big one as well, because you are probably, as I understood, Flo, you took in like some investment, or at least from an accelerator point of view as well. But what kind of feedback have you usually had regarding this? Because I guess like the classic thing is that they have their fears that if you burn out or if you get tired, then who's going to lead the company, and so on. So have you met this kind of a classic vibe as well, or has it been a problem or not?
For me personally, it has mostly, I would say, I'm surprised that investors like they say it's like on paper a problem, but they understand my situation, that I tell the whole story, that I currently, I'm in the process of finding another founder, and it's not fast. So they say that some investors say that it is not a red flag for them if other, stars align in their paper, and a red flag would be that I say that I'm never going to need a CTO and I'm gonna, wipe code forever or whatever. So this would be a red flag. But if I say out loud that I'm searching and I have some maybe even people who are could be the ones, but I'm sort of figuring that out, then it's okay for them. But I have been like speaking with over 60 investors. Right now I have a CRM counting, and some of the investors are super strict as well. They are like, okay, you don't have a co-founder, call me when you have. So it's like, okay, I cannot do anything in that sense. I'm not gonna put some face to a pitch deck just to make this investor happy. I'm not that kind of a founder. So yeah, I would say I'm surprised that it is not typically for a normal investor, it is not the problem if they know the whole story.
How about you, Flo?
Yeah, I think as I said, jumping on this journey solo, even though I'm not solo because I have so much support around me, I think it gave me this and sitting with myself a lot this year, it made me very confident in who I am, and I'm not seeking investors that are not aligned with me. So I'm not even chasing at this point. I'm not chasing. I need investors and I need a co-founder and I need a lot of help and a lot of support, but I am done chasing. As Marco was saying, I'm building hardware. I love what I'm building. I'm not getting even paid. Like, I didn't plan for this. I don't even know how I'm making it happen, but I'm too focused on making it happen. And I don't have time to like explain myself. I don't have time to, and I feel like the right people always find each other. This is what I've found. It's as Kathy said, it's all about being honest and transparent with investors, but also you don't want those investors anyway on your cap table, the ones that are like, oh, I'm not interested in, like, if you're like solo, it's this kind of things. If you listen to me, if you understand where I'm coming from, if we can speak the same language, right? We will get along. And I'm not forcing myself to tick some boxes just because it's the status quo. Because if I'm being honest, I could have left when my co-founder left. I could have just easily found like if I had the opportunity to leave the company, that would have been the best one, because I'm still not getting much out of here. Like, it doesn't pay my bills, it doesn't pay my rent, and it really makes my life way more complicated. So if an investor comes and is like, oh, but you don't have a, like, what happens if you also, I'm kind of like, I've already overcame that sort of like stage where I could have left. Now it's basically, I am so committed to this that if you cannot see it, and if you think that me being the only sort of like founder, whatever, but also having a lot of additional support, I'm trying to build something here. And if you don't see the fact that I'm very serious about it, and if you don't look at my actions, and you just judge, as Kathy was saying, like the pitch deck and like the pretty faces and title that I have there, is just to be like, it doesn't resonate with who I am. So I think in a way, for me, is just, finding the right people. And some of them get it, some of them don't. But, I'm just kind of like done explaining myself, because there are a lot of people going through this. Like, I don't see it a lot, like on LinkedIn being spoken about. And this is why I also wanted to have this conversation, to put the energy out there in the universe, because I know a lot of women who ended up splitting with their co-founders this year. And Kathy mentioned this in the beginning. I don't know if it's like a freaking trend, if it's like a pattern, if there's something that, and I mean, I know, I take accountability for my side. We tend to we used to do certain things, and now we stopped doing them. And maybe, the expectations from like how women lead, it's being changed. We don't want to lead emotionally. Like, I'm not here to like, take care of people's emotions. We were all grown-ups and adults, and I want to get to business, right? And unfortunately, the world needs time to catch up with the fact that, women can be and are freaking great leaders, and we should own it. And before the world owns it, we as women, we have to own it first. So I'm kind of like pretty much like owning and loving this part of the journey until the right person, comes in, and the right investors. And I'm learning it's a journey. And, this is the journey, because like you get the first investment, you find someone, but it never ends, right? So it's kind of this is how it is right now, and I'm making the most of it, and I am very much enjoying it, as crazy as it sounds.
Yeah, Marco, you wanted to chip in?
Yeah, just quickly, what I found from the let's say from the engineers point of view, pretty much it goes along with what Indrek said, that it's easier to teach an engineer some business skills than vice versa, and that has been so far our biggest challenge, let's say, when talking to investors. Most of the ones that we talk to come from a business background, and it's difficult to explain to them and make them see the potential and the benefits of your solution. And the only way to, until we get to find an investor that comes from a technical background, then the only thing that we can make them see our potential is to very detailed, very detailed economic projection and business plan. So, like, strictly talking their language without speaking about the technicalities and the benefits of the solution. That is it's getting better, and that is something that also we're talking with investors. They're getting more and more attention into hardware and into clean tech, but it's a process that is ongoing and that will change eventually. Yeah.
Marco, I just wanted to add here that you are not ever going to make any investor understand the technology. You have to be aware that you are always going to be the smartest guy regarding your own case in the room. What you have to do, and where both parties have to approach, is that to establish the bridge between technology and profit. Because what the investor wants to know is how your claimed advantages in the technology actually translates into the monetary profit later. So if there is a gap, then nothing's going to happen. You have to both make an effort to reach each other and establish this bridge there.
Yeah, and I just wanted to quickly add that from my own experience right now, because I'm kind of like CEO, CTO, see everything. Like Kathy here is just like, what hats are we wearing today? It's also, I'm seeing that people love confidence, and I think a lot of, like, even my advisors and people who like sometimes come to me, they don't understand exactly what I'm building, but they love my energy. And I think in the beginning it's very important to use that as and leverage this, and this is not manipulation. It's just like you're using who you are to attract the people who are like you. And I think this to me, this past few months has been like mind-blowing, because a lot of people might not even like, I have a lot of people who help me, and sometimes it's just like, even one of my advisors, the guy in the US, he's like, I believe in you so much. It's not even like the company that I'm building. He's just kind of like, I like you. I like your values. And I think with investors, with people you work with, but even, yeah, especially with some of the first investors, I think I'm actually happy I didn't like get the investment from that accelerator, because I don't feel we would have been aligned, I cried at the time. I was depressed, but right now I'm just, you see that everything really happens for a reason. And I think at this stage, I'm pre-seed, pre-revenue. I'm still like, I'm just testing my prototype in Italy in January. It's a long journey. And I think like whoever gets it, gets it. If somebody doesn't get it, as I said earlier, like, we don't have time to explain ourselves, but people in the beginning should really, get to know you and believe that you can build what you say that you're building. Because sometimes I'm even questioning, do I actually know what I'm building? Like, some days I know, some days I'm like, I don't freaking know, what am I doing here? and it's normal, you know. And if an investor expects you to have all the answers, you know, it's a bit like, okay, how many millions are you giving me? Like, you know, how much money are we talking about? It's just about finding the right people and just being confident enough and believing in your idea, because I think that matters the most, I think, from what I've experienced. Yeah.
Just wanted to add here, Rain, I don't know if you're listening to us or not, but I still remember your first pitch on the hackathon years ago when you came pitching Raiku to us. And who knows Rain? They know that Rain is not your most extrovert person, perhaps, and doesn't probably enjoy the public speaking too much. And it was physically visible when he was pitching his Raiku, but he made the effort. He was so confident in his idea that he not only took a step in out of his confidence zone, you could see that he was really forcing himself to be there. But he had such a faith in his idea that it was impressive. I have seen literally hundreds of pitches or thousands of pitches over the years, but I still remember Ryan's first pitch of Raiku. So confidence comes in different flavors.
Yes, it was so confident that me and Ryan are now co-founders. So as a backstory to everybody, so
Now
exactly.
you are. Back then,
Yeah.
he was a solo founder.
No, of course, exactly. Then we started this chatting, and me and Ryan, we've had also, like, we are super different as people, and we have had our fair share of quarrels as well, but somehow we're here over 5 years because we kind of share still the same vision, and we have like very different like skill sets as well, so it's very like a complementary classic thing. But we've had as well like in the early days of the company, then we were pushed as well by the industry, or the startup community, that you need to have, for example, a female co-founder as well, for example. So at some point we were just making like interviews for a third person that we didn't actually, didn't even feel like, why do we need it at the moment? But so we were having interviews with people, and then at some point we were just like, oh my God, this is ridiculous at some point, that, what kind of like an industry is pushing on you, what you need to have. But how we've solved it as well, let's say like this year or even like last year, was that we kind of even built, so we're now around, let's say like 20 people, but we have, for example, around like 6 people from the team who are in the management. So it's not exactly like co-founders, but still quite a small team. But we've trying to elevate a bunch of other important team members, so that even the share or burden is less for us. And so all the stuff that we would discuss between, let's say, like us as co-founders, then we have actually like a 6-person, like a close knit team, even more. So it even reduces, let's say, the load for two people, because I mean, building the company, and especially when you take in, like, if you do it like 1 year, 2nd year, then you're in the sprint mode still, and suddenly you're 5 years deep and you realize that, oh shit, I'm still doing it at the same pace, but we're still in the early phase of the company. And then you start to realize that we need more closer people around you as well. That's been like my vibe kind of to it. But I think, I don't know, like, do we have is there anything else that somebody else wants to share regarding like this journey, or like something advice for the other founders? Then you're free to discuss.
Yeah, if I can.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, well, I don't think that even though the investors say, most of them, I've heard it, that like being a solo founder is like not so good looking. But what they really want to say is that they want to see a plan that is covered, so that you can be sitting alone at the top of your startup, but you need to have all the operation in order and on paper and organized, because otherwise, yeah, it's a red flag if you want to be a one-man band. You can be a freelancer, but that's not being a startup founder is about. So yeah, if you can handle it, the pressure, go be a solo founder, but have all the operation of your startup organized and set in motion, so that you don't have to do everything, because you can't simply.
Totally, and like at the same time, from the investor's perspective, completely understandable that they also want to mitigate their risks, right? But as Kati mentioned, when she's now talking with investors and saying that she's really looking forward to find some good co-founder and want to build this company together with someone at one day, then it's all fine, right? Marco, again, you have a comment. You're muted.
Yeah, I wanted to add just at the end, it doesn't matter if you're a founder level or if you're a first hire level. I mean, the only difference is at the exit, the founder level gets paid second to last, and then the first hire layer gets paid last. But that's the only thing. When you're starting a startup, yeah, you need to have that in mind. But there's nothing wrong into being a first hire.
Completely agreeing with you here, in a sense that if the first hire is happy with the situation, then all good. If the first hire is happy that Florina see everything, as she mentioned, then it's all good, right? But
a CTO can also be a first hire. I've seen it several times. I don't know, a CMO can be a first hire instead of a co-founder level.
No, totally. In a sense that when people are agreeing and they're all happy with this decision and happy with outcomes and consequences, then it's all good, right? It's just a matter of agreements, I'd say. But I wanted to ask, because we also talked about this gender balance here, and guys pointed out that yeah, they're taking in women just for the statistics. Well, I'm just let's pretend I didn't see this comment. But Vismans, when is the next time or the time when you are gonna take in the female co-founder?
If I can clarify myself, I am totally against this politics of forcing startups to I don't know, bring all kind of people, that it's like they force you to bring someone else on your team so that their statistic looks better. It's not, well, there are teams that are, and there are companies that are moving ladies to CEO, even though everybody knows that they're not the decision makers, but it looks good on paper. That's the thing that I wanted to see. I mean, it's 50% of the population and is one, and 50% of the population is the other. You can't cut off half of the population. You can't discriminate, and it shouldn't be taken one side of the population as doing all the work and the other one is only decoration. No, that's wrong. But they are kind of forcing that. I mean, we are a 50-50 startup, but it's not like I'm doing all the work and Ivan is here only for decoration. No, everyone is doing their own job. And what I wanted to say is that it's silly that they force you to onboard someone only because their statistic would look good. I mean, what's the point in that?
I can comment that the forcing is from both directions. So the first co-founder that I had was also a female. So it was like 2 women starting a engineering software startup. So I got many comments that it's like unnatural, like you have to have basically some man on board very fast. So it's like in 2 ways. It doesn't matter if it's like male dominated startup or female dominated startup. There are people who are going to say that you need another layer to it. So we're both in trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I mean,
also,
it shouldn't even matter. I mean, what should matter is what you bring to the table. It shouldn't matter if, I don't know, if you wear a kilt or if you wear trousers or if you wear a sari or if you wear.
Representation matters. Let's just put it that way. Representation matters. Like if I saw more like women looking like me and being engineers and co-founders, trust me, I wouldn't have spent lots of years doing things that I shouldn't have done. I would have had, it creates confidence, I think. And I mean, as a woman, this is exactly why I'm here doing this. And I don't know where life takes me, but I think we know exactly the percentage of women getting investment, the percentage of women, and like statistics are numbers. We're engineers, right? Numbers don't lie. So yeah, the reality is that it is a bit harder here. And I see your point. Like we're not here to just tick some boxes on, and I might have ticked some boxes on my co-founder's previous list, but right now I'm on my own, and it's not about ticking boxes. It's about just doing whatever feels aligned. And yeah, what I'm learning is that there are no rules. Whatever feels right for you, you don't have to justify, you don't have to explain. If 2 women, 3 women, 5 women want to build a company, or like 5 men have done it before, so like, why not? Like it can work. Like, but the world, until the world sees it, they always say it's always impossible until it becomes possible. So it's about like, where are the limitations? Is it in your mind? Or because if it feels aligned with me, maybe I'll just be the first billionaire CTO female founder from Eastern Europe in like 5 years, like, yeah, I want to inspire women to do more of this, right? This is why I'm here. I'm not just here for my own sake.
No, I totally agree with what you said. I mean, you don't want a poster.
Agreeing. I was just presenting a different point of view.
No, really. And I'm all for that. I mean, we don't want a poster. We want a person that does their own job and task and brings their own energy to the table.
Guys, I need to run into the next meeting, but I have one question. So I wanted to ask, was it Carl, you or somebody told me a couple of years ago that their startup didn't get into one grand consortia because the racial diversity was not sufficient, so it was too white team basically. Was it you, Carl? Somebody told me it some time ago. That in my head is a kind of example of doing things for wrong reasons.
No, we got the EIC accelerator, but of course we got grilled by the jury that why are you all white guys? And it's not the European standards anymore. But we got to explain it well that at that point we were eight guys, and we put all our resources into engineering, and we filed like let's say we made a marketing like a whole wide marketing that, hey, we're looking engineers, and we got 200 applications and 0 female applicants. So it was it's in these conditions it's very difficult to find somebody into the team, especially when you're not. And then somebody advised me to go to Germany and find somebody from them there, and then pay for all the relocation and everything to Estonia. And then I said, like, it's not happening when you're basically bootstrapping a company. So that was a difficult part. But in these European grants, in these parts, yes, there is, and I mean, we're working on it for sure, because I can see a lot of value in now that I can see that there are like different teams with that has a good mix different nationalities as well as like genders, so I can see the value behind it. Definitely I can. Just in the early phase when you are like 3-4 people and you have to handpick like those people that, you know, who can deliver the actual like value to the company, then at this point this one is it's out of the question to start to bring in, let's say, like a gender and nationality mix and all this Hollywood movie in there. But yeah, I guess we are, I don't know, we are 1 p.m. So I think like people want to maybe wrap up their year as well and do a mountain of work still with the time you have. And at least in here, wait, I will show you. Finally, there is, wait, where's the background? No filter. Wait, sorry. Finally, there is a winter happening as well. So maybe there might be even like some sports activities happening. So I guess we can wrap up. Or Annette, you wanna add something, or somebody else?
You know what? No comments here after this kind of topic. So I think we got everything covered in a sense that let's keep the focus. Let's keep our mental health, which is also extremely important for me and for everybody else as well, I assume. And I just wish you the wonderful last 2 days of this year and everything that will come next year.
There's no looking back after this year, and it's like, yay, fresh new start.
Yeah. Nobody's saying 2026 is going to be my year. Everybody's waiting.
Yeah.
We all say that. Let's see what happens. Can't wait.
It's our year. Let's just put the collective energy together and just be like, 2026 is our year. We share it. Sharing is caring. So yeah.
I support that. Have a happy time.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a
Happy
great
New Year.
New Year.
Happy New Year.